Today we're looking at a post from someone who is a circus performer and inherited a house, but their life is miserable. Let's jump into it. I am a terrible person and failing life. Age 21, they, them pronouns. Well, first of all, you can't really be 21 and failing at life, okay? You can certainly be making a lot of really bad decisions. Don't get me wrong. I certainly did, but you have so much of your life ahead of you. You really can't be failing life, okay? It can only go up, you know? I don't know how to start, so let's do a bullet point list. Graduated high school at age 16, but didn't go to college. Well, first of all, graduating high school at 16 is insane. How many people do that? I think most people are 18, so they either did some kind of accelerated program or online school or something like that. So we could assume this person's probably reasonably intelligent, you know? Most people don't graduate school early for no reason, but they didn't go to college, which is fine. I'm not a believer in college. I know lots of people have a problem with that, but I think it's a scam, okay? Unless you're going for something like, I don't know, biomechanical engineering, something crazy that actually needs a college degree. But if you're just going for like, you know, I don't know, something else that doesn't necessarily require that, I think it's a waste of time. Don't have a car or driver's license. Okay, not good at 21. I don't think I got my license until I was 21 either, so I can definitely relate. Spent a total of 17 years now in training to be a performer. So what, 17 years from 21, they would have been 4? I don't know if you can call, okay, ages maybe 6 to 10 training to be a performer. I think that's a little generous. Training to be a performer, specifically circus, and I started booking my own gigs 6 years ago, so when they were 15. That's insane, okay? Props. I mean, you are already way more accomplished than most people if you're booking your own circus performing gigs at 15, right? Even if it's one, that's still amazing. So I feel like this person is, first of all, being way too hard on themselves. It feels like they're ahead of the curve in every aspect of life already, okay? They graduated at 16. Sure, they didn't go to college and they don't have a car or a license, but those things, certainly the license is easier. It's pretty easy to get, you know, it's not very difficult. If you're over 21, you don't even have to do all the bullshit with their driving hours and all that nonsense. You can just go take the test, you know? They've been training for years. If we want to be generous, we could say 17, but I think more realistically, you could say 10, you know, or 5 years really consistently, whatever, you know? They've been training for a long time to get good at something, and then we're booking their own shows at age 15. That's insane, okay? That's insane. Finances are in the pit, and I hardly have any work experience aside from one job when I was 16 because I made it by on shows. Okay, listen. If you are surviving, even barely scraping by, doing a thing that you love, that's spectacular. Most people would kill for that, right? Most people would kill to be doing the thing they love, even if they were, you know, poor. I think that a lot of people would agree with that. You know, lots of people, especially artists, you know, you want to be a performer. It's a type of artistry. You have to accept it. You know, the starving artist trope is a trope for a reason. Making it in these creator or performance based, you know, gigs is difficult. It is really hard. Being a content creator is not easy. Being a circus performer, I'm sure, is very similar and not easy. Okay. So it makes sense why your finances are in the pit, unless you are literally one of the best circus performers around or doing content or other ways. I'm sure there are other ways to supplement your income further from, you know, just doing the performances. There has to be more, but okay, no job experience. So getting a good job is going to be difficult. We're probably, if I recommended getting a job here, it's probably going to be a bottom of the barrel one. No offense to anybody who has an entry level job, but I mean, they're entry level for a reason and they don't pay a lot typically. So next up, I inherited a house. How many people would kill to inherit a house? So many people, bro. You have so many options with a house, okay? You could sell it, okay? You could sell it and have tons of money, especially in this market. Selling a house, you know, you're almost guaranteed at least $100,000 depending on where you're at. That'll go a long way if you use it well. So inherited a house, it needs a lot of work, but don't have the finances to fix it. Okay, so even if it's a rundown house, still, you have an asset. An asset so many people would kill for at 21, right? So many people would kill. You don't have to pay rent, okay, bro? You are up bigly. You're up bigly. Okay, anyway, I have been going without things that I need, like new glasses or new clothes, because everything goes into performing or bills. This is the one that really just does not make any sense at all to me, okay? How is all of your money going into performing, but at the same time, it's paying your bills, kind of? It's getting you by? Which is it, okay? your job should not be yoinking all your money away from you at the same time that you use it. I think this person could go get a part-time job and be infinitely better off than they are right now and continue doing what they love, you know? Like, damn, you've been doing this shit for 17 years, booking your own gigs at 6 years. I am not one to tell people to hang up their dreams, you know? Absolutely keep going for it. But at this point, I think you have to accept a little bit that shit is not working out the way that you wanted it to, and you probably need some other kind of income. I don't care if you fucking go, you know, I don't know. Hell, go get a job at McDonald's, okay? Flip burgers, something. Just please, for the love of God, get some more income into your life so you can stabilize yourself, you know? If you're going without glasses or new clothes, that sucks. You know, I probably need new glasses and can't necessarily afford to go to the eye doctor because I don't have insurance and I'm too old now to be on my parents, blah, blah, blah. But like, listen, it sounds like you are in a lot of financial distress and you absolutely should go do something to fix that. If you can take more gigs as a clown or circus, I don't know what you're doing, okay, at the circus, but if you can take more gigs, then do that. But if not, you have to go get a job somewhere, and it sucks, and looking for jobs is terrible, and it makes you want to blow your brains out, but you got to do it, okay? You have to go find a job somewhere, no matter how entry level or how much you don't like it. You have to make money to survive in our world, unfortunately. And if it's causing you this much stress that you feel the need to come post on a Reddit to ask for help, then you need to do something about that, okay? Let's go on to the next point. I lost the weight that I needed to lose in order to succeed in the industry. I don't know what that means, but then I gained it all back plus more, so I haven't even been able to train because I'm repulsed by my existence. That is strong words. Repulsed by your own existence is rough, okay? I have been there. There have been many times in my life where I have had a very poor self-body image or whatever and hated myself, right, for the way that I looked, okay? Even though everybody would tell you I was not fat. At one point, I was pretty chubby, okay? But, you know, I've lost that weight. Anyway, I don't know what need to lose weight to be in the industry. Maybe they're contortionists or something like that. I'm not sure. But if you need to lose weight to continue doing what you're doing, now it sounds like you don't even have any income, okay? Something is not adding up here, right? How is your job both something you can't do because you're too fat, it costs you money to do it, but it's also paying your bills to get by? I don't understand. Something is not adding up, and they need to really maybe explain more, but there's 13, and I don't see anything to talking about that. But yeah, something is not adding up there. Let's go on to the next point. I don't have friends because honestly, I'm just a negative energy that drains people. Well, you kind of sound like it. I don't blame you for feeling like you're a negative energy. If you call yourself a negative energy, you probably are one. But at least this person, they seem to be somewhat self-aware. They're like, listen, I have a house. It sucks. I can't afford to buy the things that I need. I've, been spending all my time trying to be a performer in an industry that's not really paying me and is actually draining money from me. And I've gained too much weight to even do that now. Essentially, I'm a fat loser. What the fuck do I do? Right? Okay. I have been a fat loser. Let me help. All right. Essentially, I love performing. Now I feel like it was a waste of time. And though I still want to be a performer, I'm aware that I'm too fat now and people can want a lot, but it doesn't mean it's going to happen. The thing is, even if I give up performing, then my size will drive me insane because everything comes back to, of course, that happened because I'm fat. An example is dropping a cup of coffee or my phone and instantly I'm pissed off because the fat vibrated the item out of my hand. I don't know what that means. I don't think giving up is the solution, but I don't want to waste more time, so I'm lost on what to do. Listen, I don't think giving up is the solution either. I think you need to make systematic changes to your life. Is my life even repairable? Absolutely, bro. Everybody's life is repairable. I've seen people come back from horrendous things and still have spectacular lives. It's never too late to start over, okay? The daily guilt and anxiety on top of the repulsion for my entire existence is wrecking me. Then I keep doing stupid things like binge eating, which is honestly more of a punishment for my failures because I'll gain more weight, I think they meant, and lose more money when I know I only have a month of utilities saved. Sometimes I purge, and in that moment, all I can think about is good. I deserve to be miserable. That's really tough to read. Nobody deserves to be miserable. I don't think anybody deserves to be anything, good or bad, okay? But if you have a dream that you're trying to pursue, right, that is going to come with a lot of risk, okay? And it sounds like this person has been giving it their all for a while now. And maybe they haven't been giving it their all. Maybe they've been failing and half-assing it or whatever, but they've been trying to accomplish something, right? For however long and giving it however much effort, and it's not working out. I made like 200 videos before I had a single video cross 5K views, okay? That's ridiculous, right? That's insane. But I stuck with it. And I think accomplishing a spectacular dream, like doing something crazy, like becoming a YouTuber or a circus performer, right? That's going to take a lot of commitment and a lot of time and a lot of effort, which is fine. Don't give up on your dream, but you have to support yourself in the meantime, right? If you don't have enough money to pay your bills, you're going to be homeless, and then the shit gets infinitely harder, right? It's going to be so much harder to become a performer if you don't have anywhere to live. But thankfully, you were gifted. Life gifted you a house, okay? You have a fucking house. How many people your age at 21 would kill for a goddamn house? And you have it. And here you are fucking complaining, okay? Pisses me off a little bit. I wish I had a fucking house, okay? Shit would be fucking rocking. Life would be awesome if I had a house. But listen, you have and that just goes to show everyone has gifts. They have opportunities and things in their life that position them to achieve things that other people don't. Everyone has their advantages and disadvantages, right? But you got to play the fucking cards you were dealt. That's just how it is. You have to play the cards you were dealt. And you've given all your time into performing. Maybe you can find an adjacent job that will help you support you. You know, maybe there's like a public speaking job or something like that. There's all sorts of avenues where you could take the skills that you have learned in performing and try to apply them in other ways. Maybe you could teach other people to be performers. Maybe you could, I don't know, make content around it. If you're like swallowing swords and shit, people like to watch it. I mean, people like to watch the circus anyway, so people would probably watch you do whatever it is you're doing online. There are so many options, right? The answer is not to give up. The answer is to find a better solution, okay? Find a solution, to look for a way out instead of giving up. It sounds like this person has lost a lot of the hope that they had maybe many years ago when they were a kid and were like, I'm going to become a circus performer, and now they're 21 and it's like, damn, I'm kind of doing it, but it didn't really work out the way I thought it would. And then let's address the fat thing, okay? The fat thing is rough, right? Because listen, losing weight is not that hard. I have done it many times. I lost 40 pounds, okay? I know how to do it. It's very simple science. You just have to eat less than you burn. Yes, eat less than you burn, okay? And you will lose weight. So I had to make sure I said that right. So as long as you eat less food than you burn every day in calories, you will lose weight. And there are a lot of ways to make that happen. You can change your diet. You can add exercise to your life. There are so many different things that you can do to make that happen. But you have to start somewhere, right? And it's one of those things that it sort of becomes like a runaway train where you get fat and then it gets harder and harder to exercise because you're fat. And eventually you're so fat that exercise becomes really difficult and it just keeps snowballing until you're like extremely morbidly obese and they got to pull you out in like on a helicopter or something, you know? So you have to, they don't actually use a helicopter. Sorry, that's probably insensitive. Okay. Listen, you need to start calorie counting and controlling your diet and work on your self-image. And there's a lot of ways to do that, right? The first thing is going to be, let's go get a normal job and be around some normal people instead of, you know, whatever you're doing right now. Let's go get a normal job and just work for a little bit. It might suck, but it'll make you feel better to have some fucking money in your pocket and to have some stability, which it sounds like you haven't had in like 6 years or whatever, however long you've been on your own. You know, it sounds like you need some stability in your life. So let's go find a normal job, no matter how bad it sucks, and work it for a little bit. Then at the same time, talk to some people at the job, make some friends, try, you know, you're a negative energy. Try not to be a negative energy. What if we tried to think positively and be helpful to people and be kind? What if we shifted our mindset to things are going to be all right and work out? You got to start thinking positively. I think this is one of the biggest things most people can do is change their mindset to start trying to think positively. Just try and be positive about stuff. It's going to be really hard at first, but eventually you can correct your mindset and be positive, and that will completely change your existence, okay? So get a normal job, change our attitude about the way we are and the way we talk to people and stuff, and be positive and try and make some friends at the job, or at least acquaintances. Let's go to a place where other people are, where we can talk to other people and be a positive force around them and get a job. Okay, that'll clear up a ton of these problems. I feel like immediately this would make your life so much better because you'll have financial stability, you'll have people you can talk to on a daily basis and interact with, which will boost your self-esteem. And if you try and think positively, even if only you thought 10% more positively per day, it would make a massive difference in your life. And then finally, you got to work on the weight. Okay. It's obvious this person's image is very, very tied to the way that they look, right? Their self-esteem is tied really hard to the way that they look and the way that their body is, because in whatever performance they're doing, it's attached to, their weight. They can't perform if they're too heavy. So they need that their identity as a circus performer is being attacked by the fact that they're overweight. And so it's killing them inside. It's basically like killing themselves, in a way that they can't be who they're supposed to be, which is a circus performer, because they've gained so much weight. So we have to fix that. If you want to keep the identity of a circus performer and do whatever it is you're doing, and it just sounds so crazy to say, like, what are you, a clown, a contortionist? Are you swallowing swords? I don't know. It's crazy, but you have to start fixing it one day at a time, right? And like I said, I think those other things will help, but you need to just go walk every day. Start small if you want, or you can make a radical shift and try and change that and go, run and count calories and work out consistently and all this stuff. There's a lot of options here, but at some point you have to address the daily guilt and anxiety and realize the only way to combat the daily guilt and anxiety is to take steps to fix it, which is so difficult. I understand it's very hard, and your prefrontal cortex hasn't developed yet because it's not done yet. You're 21, okay? You got a lot of room to grow still as a person, but there are simple changes you can make, like walking more, and like this person says, not buying snacks, counting your calories. There are always things that you can do to change your life. This person, they have a fucking house. Again, they have a house. They're making it by, even if barely, doing the thing that they love. Imagine if they just had a little extra income from a normal job on top of that, okay? You may not have a car or whatever, but you can figure it out. You can fucking figure it out. I promise you, if you want it bad enough, you'll figure out how to get from A to B to go to a normal job or work online. You got a fucking phone or computer, okay? You're writing this message on Reddit. There are jobs for you, and you can find a job. Let's read what some of these other people said. Life is always going to be difficult. Very true. And, being fat is something you can change now. Absolutely. With effort and time. I have done it. You can. I believe you can too. Yes, I 100% believe this person can too. You have a house. You don't have nothing. You have an asset. Even if you sell it, you could use that money to do whatever you want. This person has so many options. And I feel like we all so often have so many options, but we choose not to take them because we're afraid. Our fear closes our mind from the options, and we don't look at our life as a whole. You could fucking, no matter who you are, you could not talk to anybody, not tell a soul, pack up and move to Thailand tomorrow, okay? There's almost nothing stopping you. If you didn't have the money, you could sell everything you own and fucking get the money to move to Thailand. Why you would do that, I don't know. But it just goes to show how radically you can change your life overnight if you just choose to. And it is a choice. I know the solution is to go back to what I was doing, but how do I navigate people who say I need to eat more, or that what I'm doing isn't healthy? And how do I get myself to accept that's my life, not go back to eating things I'm not supposed to, or never increase calories? Listen, these apps will track you and tell you. You could go to an AI right now and say, I'm overweight. I weigh this much. I'm this height. I'm this age. I want to be this way. And how do I get there? How much should I eat per day? When can I eat more? And just follow its fucking advice. It'll be general enough that it'll be fine for you, okay? It may give you a chicken recipe where the calories on the chicken are a little wrong, but you can account for that shit, right? There's so many resources online. It's just helplessness. This is helplessness to ask all these questions and say, well, what if people tell me I should eat more? Who gives a fuck if people tell you should eat more? Take some fucking accountability for your own life, You ask these questions and people are giving you answers, and then you nitpick back with like, well, what if this? What if that? What if... Just do it. Just make it happen. They said I used to be good at using my fitness pal. So you've done this before. Then I started eating things that didn't have nutrition information about. I'll get started on again and stop making excuses. Yes. Fuck yes. That's what I love to hear. I love to see that. Yes. Get started. Stop making excuses, because there is no excuse. And that hurts to hear the first time. But once you own it, you realize you're in control of your life. And that's what matters, right? Sounds to me like getting a steady paying job would do you a lot of good. I agree. You need reliable income. You'd be able to buy what you need. You'd meet new people, blah, blah, blah. It isn't theater. It's circus. I've been submitting job applications nonstop for a month with zero luck. I basically sleep 3 hours per night over anxiety and stress of not having any income. Listen, as someone who's had to live on credit cards before, who grew up poor, it is stressful to not have enough money coming in and to be terrified of that. But I can tell you this, it has always worked out. I don't know how, I don't know why, but I wish I just didn't stress during those times, because in reality, I probably would have gotten out of them sooner if I just didn't stress. But I did stress out a ton. I stressed out constantly about it, and everything worked out anyway. You know, like, what's the worst that can happen? You wind up homeless. You have a fucking home. You can't even wind up homeless. You could sell that bitch if you needed to. The worst that can happen is not that bad. Okay, I promise you. Write it down. Write down what the worst thing you think can happen. You know, happening. Write what that is, and you'll see that it's not that bad. So I understand that the money not having enough is stressful. It's very, very stressful. But you've made it up until this point without it. Probably you've probably been struggling for a while, and you've made it up till this point. So you'll probably keep making it. So just stop stressing about it. I know that sounds really hard to do, and it is, but you'll feel better. You'll get more sleep, because apparently you're only sleeping 3 hours a night, which is fucking killing you. Okay. It's literally killing you and making it impossible to get anything done. Only sleeping 3 hours a night from anxiety and stress. The stress alone is killing you. You have to chill the fuck out and realize, I'll be all right. Okay. It will be all right. I don't know how it'll be all right for you, but I promise it will. You will get through. You will continue to live unless you do something crazy to yourself, right? You just have to chill out and accept that this is where you are and get out of it. Okay. That'll help you get out of it faster, to chill out about it, which sounds really difficult to do because it's so scary. It's so scary to see a bill come in and not have the money to pay for it, but you can get out of it. I promise. Okay. I have been there. I've done it. Step 1, find a group for eating disorders and start going regularly. Yeah, like it sounds like they have possibly an eating disorder or something. Step 2, look for programs in your state for cheap therapy or blah, blah. Step 3, performance industry that is predicted on you being skinny and attractive to perform is temporary profession. Step 4, do the work once you mentally and financially stable. I have a therapist, and basically always comes down to count the calories, macros, and do intermittent fasting. Okay, well, first of all, you have a therapist? Unless you're getting it through some state program, you can't be that bad off, okay? Therapy costs a lot of money. Starting to not buy the story so much or think that this person has a warped view of their life, okay? Which is very likely, you know, if someone in this situation, it's not unreasonable for them to have it. Essentially what I used to do, and for some reason I decided to be an idiot when I turned 21, so it turned into months of shit diet decisions of constantly eating and drinking what I knew I shouldn't have, and that's when I landed me in this situation. I've been told that getting a regular job would be throwing away circus. I should be training like it's my full-time job if I want to be successful, so I'm struggling to accept that I'm going to have to give it all up when I find a job. What a horrible mindset. What a horrible mindset. This is simply not true at all. Okay, let's go through this. So first of all, at 21 is when you decide to start gaining weight. Even a whole year of eating badly, you can't possibly have gained that much, right? It's not some insurmountable amount of weight. You would have to be going crazy, like absolutely crazy on that food to have gained so much that it is an insurmountable amount of weight to come back, you know, something just absolutely life ruining. Okay. You can absolutely lose that weight. And you even know how. You've done it before. Apparently you've been told how. You know exactly what to do. So the only thing stopping you is just doing it. And it seems like you're aware of that, which is good. And you said you're going to do it from now on. No excuses. So that's great. Getting a regular job is not throwing away the circus. Sometimes you will have to make compromises and not do something that you want to do or do things you do want to do for a little bit. You know, would it really be the end of the world if you spend a couple months at a normal job and then just work on it when you get home? Would that be the end of the world? Probably not. You'd probably feel better. Okay, truthfully. So I think it's insane to make it a this or that kind of situation when it's nowhere close to being that. Not even a little bit. It's such black and white thinking, which will kill you in the end, right? It doesn't have to be one way or the other. You could do both. You could go get a part-time job even, and then come home and spend all your time working on the circus after. There's so many options available to this person. And like I said before, I think we so rarely are willing to look at the options before us out of fear that we might actually be able to change our situation, because that's scary. Because when you admit that you can change your situation, that's when it gets really scary, because it means there's nothing stopping you, right? There's nothing stopping you. And the only reason you're not changing your situation is because you fucking don't really want to, right? And that's tough to deal with. But there we go. Wait, hold on. I understand. I state that I'll have monthly blood work. I eat lots of fruits and vegetables along with lean protein, but I'll gorge on stupid shit. Like this person, I am believing this less and less that they are actually like super overweight. I was told whatever lowers the weight is a step in the right direction as long as my blood work is fine. As for owning a house, it's just because my grandma passed away, which is tragic. I assume that's what it was. And the rest of the family is on drugs. Yeah, it sounded like this person was alone, which is very difficult. And that's another reason I recommended getting a normal job because it would put you around normal people. I do appreciate her for it, though. It's just sad because she wanted me to follow my dreams. And now it's like those dreams are impossible at this point. Not only have I failed myself, but I have failed for her. Your grandma's fucking dead. I'm sorry, your grandma's dead. You can't fail her anymore. That's just the truth of it. She might have wanted this or that for your life. I don't know if you're religious or whatever, but she is dead. She can't feel like you failed. Okay? That's just the truth of it. So you can let that shit go. You can let that baggage go and stop thinking about what your grandma wanted for your life or whatever. What do you want for your life? That's the real question. What do you want for your life? That's the only thing that should matter. And it does seem like this is your dream still. But you're not failing her, okay? The only person you're failing is yourself and maybe any dependence you might have. But it doesn't sound like you have any at 21, which is fantastic. You have so many options before you. Taking a small hiatus on your dream is not giving up on it. Sometimes you just got to do hard shit like that. And you, again, if you really want it that bad, which it sounds like you do, go get a normal job and work on it in the afternoon or in the morning, whatever times your job allows you. Work on it at your job, whatever. You can make it happen. I believe in this person. I feel like they were set up in a fantastic position that a lot of people would kill for, with a house and to be doing the thing that they love. And, you know, to clearly have therapy and blood work and to have resources before them. And yet they feel like they're trapped. And I feel like that's really sad and unfortunate, but I think they have a really easy way out. And it's just doing the couple of things that they know they need to do, which is get a job and focus on losing some weight. But there we go. There's my thoughts. Okay. If you like this video, like, comment, subscribe, blah, blah, blah. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace.